This, this first poem is called Curve. Slick highways slithered into the hills, opposite lane at dusk, the strata of bare branched trees, blush of darkness ices everything, blurred fractals of moonlight. Ahead, a truck slides forward, bed of sparks, steel sirens in the distance, the hiss of heat meeting air now so clear and bright, the pupils radiating outwards, animal, metallic, red smoke veiled by sleet. Then the circles of hide, of hoof, the wide, wild eyes, raucous breath, the bellows, one by one, the trailer top unrolled like foil. They emerge into the asphalt, curious birth. This is called Oranges, 1995. We shiver in the deep belly, open-eyed in the silk colloid, burst breathless across the threshold of cold water and late afternoon. Later, low-angled sun gilds the feathery pines. Our shadows sit beside us, dark twins. Sticky-cheeked we run our thumbnails between the peel and pith, drop rinds into the water, watch the glittering fish kiss the surface, joy in the bronze fin and the curved eye, the swirl of minnows across bare shins, the tall breeze-rustled reeds, and the wide spiders who ride the shimmering membrane of liquid and air. The trees begin to blacken, quick now, climb that steep hill before night hides the way home. This is called Windless. Tuesday carves itself into memory, shins pressed against tile, red grid welted, obedient bodies curved like prayer, to the unclean floor, to the absence of rain. The sirens are singing, keening soprano, knee against daisy-chained knee we wait, the sweet and persistent ache of calf kissing thigh, the walls so smooth and cool, the rise and fall of backs in breath, the silence nestled in that soft specter of destruction. It's about tornado drills. We all remember them. We're those of us from the Midwest. This is called Two. Through the window, the celadon sky and the debris on the horizon, red flashes of broken barn boards, poplar limbs shudder, whole turkeys undone, beak and feather and claw, the curved cloud swings its hips over the darkening fields, bring those strong winds closer and snap the lines, connecting the high-tension towers, the ones that rise out of the hillsides like fish-netted legs, topple them apart, spark, electric wind, and fresh lightning, that deep belly rumble across the neighbor's farm. I will not go to the cellar when the glass shakes from the sills and the hinges give way. I will not hold myself steady, come violent gusts. This is the dark precipice. Okay, this is 5. Lay down in the wet meadow. Net of shallow roots holds you, plush with rain, plate of rhizomes crossed wrists and hips, crown of sedge, dry grass, psalm, winds through the fans of the iris. How long now for the acid to dissolve what does not burn? Run empty ephemeral veins, the black eyes cry petals like fingers counting down. In 3 months, this will all be dust. In 3 months, you will forget what it is like to have a body, blood rushes and reeds. Lay down, the dry times will come. Lay down. This is Anatomy, a Warning. At the wide saline delta, do not forget, These achiote banks slick with clay, electric cascades washed in milky light, entire tributaries that flow shyly between hillsides, the wet mouth hidden in a dark spring. Do not turn against what has carried you through the alluvial valley and the thick marshlands to the bright and halcyon sea. This is called Absolution. We exhale ghosts. Under the cone of light from the street lamp, the sidewalks shine with dark glosses of ice, and the pulmonary treetops stand blacker than the sky behind them. Cold cauterizes the space between us, so close now that the air is milder down where the hems of our jackets kiss. Across the river, a smokestack cleaves the distance into two distinct spaces, things thought into one another. Eventually, the heat sublimes. This is called Hunger Like a Gift. Red gems crumble from paper skins, smear of milky fig, wheat nestled in the husk. Golden quints bear the gray fur, frost-blet flesh, wide white rind of citron, bitter and bright. Apricot pressed against the point of the virgin tooth, wet borderland of sweetness and rot, unnamed and plucked from the dark scatter, the lush slick. Covetous hands and keen mouths collect the apples, blush, gathered in an upturned skirt. This is called Spring. The bleakest season blows ochre over unfrosted ditches, the tall brown grasses a nest of memory, chilly murk of the puddle-dappled dirt, unruly mornings a slurry of darkness and fog. At the cusp of temperate days we keen, like the still sharp wind, and remember the world as it was before the veil was lifted. Crystalline, shifting drifts, sheaves of ice, the shuddering hillscapes bare now, perfect tessellations melted into an amalgam of wetness. Mild and dark, these are wild and uncertain times, unprotected and with no guarantees of heat. How certain are we of time in the slipstream behind us, waiting verdant, wide-hipped, rife with young shoots? Okay, I have two more. This is Bloom. Blood smear of breaks in the wet distance, dark beyond, heavy with apparitions of silos and farm towns. Wire fences and barns collapsed in on themselves like tired hearts. Full bars and quiet altars, husbands and wives asleep. Stone chimneys stoop to the monochrome sky. Ahead, the slick interstate curves into darkness. The world dips below the forward horizon. Behind, the skyline blackened, the city glow, open blister of electric lights. Long shadows. You stand on a bridge I can no longer see behind me. Glossy sidewalk. Steam rises from the gutters. Winter rests on your eyelashes and the backs of your hands. You will not make it to the other side. I kill the lights, accelerate east. You dissolve into nothing, roll down the windows, and the ghosts rush home. This is the last poem, and actually the only one that I haven't written in the Mentor series. This is called Cake. You, me, and the fingernail moon, and this woolly darkness, the ground bundled up in snow. The visible breath, those pinprick stars, your hand inside my jacket. God, slice this wedge of earth we're standing on right now and leave the rest behind. Thank you.